Wow. Thank you. Wow. Quite exciting. What an experience. Hi, guys. At some point, we met Baringo County Governor Benjamin Cheboy. This was at Mogotio Equator Crossing, yet another unique tourist attraction in this county.
This place is a melting pot of culture. The communities here are diverse. You have got wonderful people who have conserved their cultures. They sing and dance and do so many cultural artifacts.
And we learned so much more about Baringo County's attractions from the governor.
We have some of the best lakes. I think we are the only county that has got 3 lakes, 3.5 lakes actually. There is Lake 94, Lake Bogoria, Lake Baringo, and Lake Abnorok. The only oxbow lake that you can find in this region.
With Baringo known as the place for research.
We have museums. We have the oldest hominid or fossil, one of the oldest. It's more than 5 million years, to be found in a place called Kipsaraman or Rondinin.
Yes, tourism is one of the governor's top priorities.
We are now being evaluated to become a national geopark, the 3rd in Africa. Out of the 177 sites that have geoparks, we will be the 3rd.
Chams Media, hoye! Hoye! Chams Adventures, hoye! Hoye!
What a trip. What a welcome by Baringo people. And on behalf of my team, I say, Kongoi Mising.
Yes, it was an amazing time, and with that, we have come to the end of the show today. On behalf of the entire team responsible for this episode, we say many thanks for watching, Merry Christmas, and see you next time.
Fruity freshness in every sip.
Capital gains tax, the rate is going to go up from 1st of January from 5% to 15%. I think one of the consequences that we are likely to see at the beginning of next year is that a number of people are likely to start rethinking their disposal transactions. As a country, we do have a form of wealth tax. If you think about it, the property rates that are paid to the county governments, you pay them because you have property. And the rate depends on the value of the property and also where the property is situated. What the Finance Act 2022 was seeking to do was to increase the ambit of this taxation of financial derivatives to include the non-residents.
NTV, turning on your world.
My full name is Amonde.
He started off well in 1984 when he was born. And we have loved him also.
They were doing now rugby, and me had no idea about rugby. So I only think it is a game for the armed forces.
I was born in Kisumu, and very small, humble ground. And you said, I think that's where I started my journey as a life as a teenager and as a young boy, and that's how I grew up and got into what I am today. I've got 2 kids. I've got a girl who's 10, and I've got a boy who's 5. They're into sports. My girl wants to play basketball. My son is also into sports, but he's mostly into football.
He's a good dad.
He's a good dad. Aww. Thank you, Baba. Okay. Thank you.
My name is Damakili Nomwenga. Andrew is my husband, and this little boy here is my son.
But everything just flowed between us. Between the time we got to know each other, we got comfortable around each other, and then we became very close. And we decided to just take a path and see if we can be good partners as a couple. So in 2016, yes, we just decided to tie the knot.
First, it was new to me when we started dating, but over the years, I learned how to accommodate his schedule, understand him first as a sportsman, understand his diet, his trainings, his schedules, the hours we both put in to make sure that apart from me being in school and him being a rugby professional player, we had to meet somewhere. Andrew is a husband, a dad, a friend, and a good chef. He likes making us breakfast. We don't really have a schedule, but he's a man who likes going to the kitchen. Whether it's cooking or cleaning, or I cook and he cleans, so there's no law book that we follow. It just happens naturally.
You need a good partner to understand how to balance both, because you need somebody who is very understanding of the sport, and I was lucky enough to be around Dama. Dama had a very good understanding of how to balance our family. She took care of our family most of the time I was away, and that is something I've been very grateful from her side, because she played a very major role for me.
And knowing that he gets hit on by women just confirms that I picked the best. Come on, look at him. I call him the dark berry. So the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, as they say. Good thing about the relationship Andrew and I have had, it has always been open. I've not had so far any issues with him in terms of women, ladies. He's a very respectable man. From him being Andrew to him being a dad and a husband to me.
Are we in Nairobi, Tony?
Oh.
He started off well in 1984 when he was born, and he has been so humble, down to earth, and we have loved him also.
Andrew is our brother. He was the eldest one from the boys, and he was one person who was very dedicated and could make the impossible to be possible. He could do his things in his own way, and in the end, he will succeed. That we live to know. Andrew was our mentor.
I am the immediate follower of Andrew, so I'm the third born in our family. We've had so many activities together as we grew up. We did a lot of sports together. I remember when we were young, we used to play the inter-estate football. I was lucky because he was always there for me. He encouraged me to always get involved in such sports, and I was lucky also to follow him. I followed him through football, I followed him through basketball, I followed him through handball. It was not just fortunate for me to follow him through rugby, because maybe of my fear.
Andrew is my big brother. We grew up from Usaid Estate until I was about 12 years old. Then we moved to Kajulu, Mamboleo. That is where we did eat. I became an adult from there. I think Andrew too. Some of his college days and everybody else. I do remember while we were growing up, 2007. I was about to join my Form 1, and you do remember the skirmishes. So I was trapped in USAID. We were living there with my sister, and Kisumu was actually cut off. I remember Andrew borrowing a bike from one of his friends, and we rode it all the way to Mamboleo, given that there were tear gas, the road was closed, and it was like something like in the Wild West, and something that you can see in a movie. So he's a very protective brother. He will not let us go hungry, and everything else. It's the best brother you can have in the world.
I attended MMSHA Primary School, and then I headed to Kisumu Boys High School, and then I headed to East Africa School of Media.
He had a passion for ball games, and I was against it. I said, how on earth can a Form 1 be recruited into a school team? That is, you have begun wasting time.
In high school, I ended up playing in 2 major sports, in basketball and handball, because the high school I attended, we majored so much in basketball and handball.
He was very good at basketball, and I think at Kisumu Boys he was only playing basketball. But after Form 4 I was surprised. I think Kisumu Technical, they were going for practice at Kisumu Technical. They were doing now rugby, and me I had no idea about rugby. So I only think it is a game for the armed forces. How? What is this game for now?
Andrew joining rugby was a surprise to everybody because Andrew used to play everything. He used to run, he used to play hockey, he used to play basketball, football, he was everywhere. He was even in handball, and we used to play it with my brother called Raphael. So they were like the sports people in the family. They even used to do weight and bodybuilding, so they were doing everything. So we never told us he was in rugby. I remember we saw him on news, like Kisumu Boys. People went out, and then my father and my mother was like, that one looked like Boy. And then he was like, yeah, that is Boy. And then it's when he came out and said that he was playing rugby. I remember my mom was a little bit concerned. These are physical sport. Kijananga atavunjika, which the prophecy did come true, did break a lot of bones. Yeah. So it was a no in the beginning for the parents' side, but given that my parents are actually very supportive people, everybody did support him to do what he loves. And when he came to Nairobi, he did do rugby professionally, because we no longer saw him clips in the TV, saw him in the newspapers, we saw him everywhere, and we started following him as a career.
I was lucky to be in a police sports team. I used to train just in Nairobi. So most of his matches, I used to go and watch, supporting him psychologically, being there for him, cheering him up. When he's injured, we could visit him to the hospital, encouraging him. He'll get better.
While in Nairobi, we got the chance of actually having more time to do the rugby. So he entirely went in. So the father tried to discourage him, but I told him that if you love it and you can spare your time to study, just go ahead. Just go ahead and do it. So we were doing it secretly. He was telling me, and I was trying to encourage him, go and do it, Saidi. And in fact, he went in for it.
Me and Andrew, I think, met in 2006 the first time. He walked into KCB. He was a rough diamond. You could clearly see from the way he was playing his potential. He could have a very big impact on the game if he just focused on it.
I ended up playing rugby because the influence on what I got from my friends. And I think when I was after my high school, immediately after high school, the time that we still used to stay at home before we joined college, a few of my friends came to me. They used to play rugby in high school. And they approached me because I used to be a big player, tall one, lanky guy, well, looked very fit. They approached me and they told me I really had a very good physique that could fit into rugby. And they encouraged me to just come and join them one day of their training. Just to see if I could like the game. So when I went to the grounds, Polytechnic, to see how Kisumu FC trains, that's how I got into rugby. Started training. I was picked by some of the officials that I got there. They were very happy and encouraged with what they saw in me, my physical appearance, and athleticism, the way I was from playing basketball and handball. Those are two games that you have to be very fit and very fast. The first time I stepped into the field, played very hard, tried to learn a few things that I could pick up from them. And there I was playing rugby in Kisumu FC, and then from there I was picked to KCB, and ended up playing in the national team. The transition was very difficult because rugby is a different kind of game from basketball and handball. So there's the physical part of it that I had to be conditioned to get used to. And then the basics aspects about playing rugby, the basic thing that makes you a better player, the skills that behind rugby. So those took me time.
One day he met the former coach, Mr. Imba, and he made an appointment for him to go to Nairobi. And from that day on, it was rugby all around.
The good thing about me, I was open to learn. When I got challenged with some of the things that I could not do. I got very good people. The late Benjamin Naimba could encourage me on some of the things that I could do. Tanko Tieno, my coach, also encouraged me on things that I could do. They got me a better position that could fit me, pick what I could pick from them and just put them into my arsenal and to be able to be a great player. I owe my rugby career to Benja because he's the first coach who ever gave me a call up to the national team to play for the Sevens in 2006. Benja is the first person to see the potential that I could carry, and he's the one who encouraged me to keep on pushing myself. And he's the first person to ever fill me into a rugby Sevens. Unfortunately, we lost Benja. It was a sad part for us, losing somebody who we saw as our father, somebody who has led us for a very long time. So it's life. We hope that Benja is, wherever he is, he's found his peace.
Tuweze kuwa aggressive hivyo. Hivyo ndio tunafika finali. Aggressive tukipandisha ball tukirun tuna minute. Unakimbia unagonga mzee hata tukienda down. Next rack kuna mtu atakuja. Sema guys.
When he became a captain, I think there was a Mzungu coach, Mike Friday. It was Mike Friday who chose him to be, I think during that reign. The coach must have seen some good talents in him and the discipline also.
And your friends refreshment.
So those good players, although we fans, we felt Nani should be in the field. But according to the coach, he did not reach the practice, the standard that he wanted. So he sidelined them. He put them on the bench. I told him that is exactly what you may face. After you have played and you think you are now very good, and you now begin ignoring your training practices, training sessions, then the coach may think otherwise. And then he may dump you or may put you into the bench and you stay in the bench all the times. I think he took that advice seriously. He always went for training in time, and I think he listened to the coaches, the technical bench, so well.
They say it's in your nature. It's a woman thing. It's having a dream and pursuing it, making a plan and working it. It's starting a business and owning it. As a woman in business, let KCB fire up your female-led and made enterprise, KCB Flame. To find out more, WhatsApp 0711 087 087 or call 0711 087 000 and visit us at any KCB branch countrywide.
Hamjambo wa Kenya popote mlipo. My name is Nancy and I'm the Chief of Private Sector Partnerships Africa at UNHCR. As you are aware, the Horn of Africa is currently facing a severe drought. the worst in 40 years. As a result, nearly 1.8 million people have been forced to leave their homes in search of food and water. To put it into context, the drought has displaced more people than the entire population of my beautiful home county of Meru. This means that mothers like Sudi have had to walk 160 kilometers while pregnant before reaching the safety of a camp where she gave birth. UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, is on the ground to support those forcibly displaced, but we need your help to do more. This festive season, we have partnered with Safaricom to run a charity drive that gives you the opportunity to donate your Bonga points. Your Bonga points can help provide critical life-saving assistance to drought-affected families. My appeal to you is to dedicate your Bonga points to the drought response today, and to ask your family, colleagues, and friends to do the same. Together, we can make a huge difference. And we can do so before those Bonga points expire. It takes only 30 seconds to donate your Bonga points today. Please take your phone and let's do it together now. Dial *126#. Select Lipa na Bonga points. Select Pay Bill. Text the business number 329378. Text the account number Bonga. Add your amount. Enter your M-Pesa PIN, and your donation is complete. Blessings from millions of people who will benefit from your help. Asante sana.
Japo tuna tofauti,
kila moja wetu ana sauti. Stop the bus. Tuinuane, ushirikiano wetu. Tuinuane, na ukaribu wetu. Tuinuane, tuinuane. Tuko pamoja maishani. Tuinuane,
tuko pamoja maishani, tuinuane.
This week on The Best Of, we go wild about the wild, but still keep it luxurious and classy.
This is our swimming pool. But it always calls for the brave. The water is not heated.
And we feast our eyes on an unforgettable view.
Those are Nyambene Hills?
Yes, 100%. That's Nyambene Hills. And basically the reason we call it Elsa's Hill, Elsa is basically Elsa the lioness.
The famous one.
Yes.
It's a conservation conversation on the best of luxury tented camps.
Make a sure decision with Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Apply now. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725-818-644 or visit our website www.eldorettti.ac.ke.
This holiday season, import your dream SUV with Murray Daddy Motors. Just pay a deposit of 1 million shillings and the balance when your vehicle arrives. Place your order by the 31st of January 2023 and get the fast free service and a fuel card worth 50,000 shillings.
Squeeze in! Back stop! 3 to 1! Mike Friday is somebody I met in 2012, but I knew him as the England coach in the previous years. So I'd already seen him as a coach. So when he came in to work with us, it was something that encouraged us because we knew from his early work what he was able to do. He changed the mood of play, and I think the new experience that we learned, the thing that we boast about, that we were able to win, is the one who built that winning mentality in some of the players who were going through his system.
rugbysite.com. Get in that again! Every day by 6 I'm awake doing something, whether I'm coming for training, whether I'm dropping the kids to school. So it's just a routine that my body is used to by 6, or even if I'm trying as much as possible to stay in bed, I'm always just awake. You get into the gym, you do your warm-up, you have you check on what you have planned to do, and you go back to your workout, you get your workout done. And then you finish with your runs, and then with your recovery at the pool. Then you have your breakfast, and then your day is started. So my biggest thing that we do, because I play rugby, my biggest thing is the bench power. So that is something that we normally focus on a lot, getting the strength on the bench. So it's a good pattern of getting yourself being strong physically on the upper body. The other exercise that we do normally so much as a rugby player is the squat. So that assists with your strong muscle legs. You're able to go through tackles, you're able to run through. It will also help you do the big runs that you're able to do as a player. The other major one that we do is the back. So the back is also needed because of the scrummages and the tackles that you have to make. So you have to have a very strong back. The one that we do just to complement ourselves is the arms that I finished with. That one is a core thing. You need your hands to be that strong for you to be able to do most of the things that are required into the rugby field. And then there are the shoulders, and then arms, and then the core muscles. So I think it's just the basic things that an athlete needs to be able to be fit enough and to be able to endure when they go into a rugby field. So some of the achievements that I would also just celebrate is going to Olympics, first going to Rio in 2016. It was a very big privilege for us. It was during the first time rugby was being hosted at the Olympics. So we took it as a plus and as a learning lesson for us because we didn't know what to expect in an Olympics. So when we got there, there's a lot of learning for the team. We tried as much as possible to get our team ready for Olympics, but unfortunately some things don't go as you plan. We fell short at the Rio Olympics, we fell short at Tokyo Olympics, but we had very big plans at the Tokyo Olympics because we had very good experience there, and we had already planned on how we wanted to go out of the Olympics, and unfortunately we fell short. We still feel bad, but we're encouraging the next note that we'll go to the next Olympics. It takes a lot of hard work to be in Olympics because the teams that are coming to Olympics are teams that are really focused on only winning that goal for their country at that Olympics.
We're here in Singapore to welcome you to day 2 of 2 from the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series, event 8 of World Rugby's truly global annual Sevens event.
Taking quickly.
Playing in Singapore was a big thing for us because that's the time that I think we were at our peak. We had players who were very experienced, players who had been exposed to different level of training.
To take Kenya to the cup final, 40 meters out. It's climbing! It splits the post! Collins Injera! The hero!
We've been exposed to being with Mike Friday, being with Paul True, so we had a very experienced side, a side that could do anything. We were playing very well, but we were not winning because
The few lapses would put us down, but we had a very experienced time at that side.
Scrum is good. 30 sharp from Kenya, dancing around. He's Lugonzo, now switching to the rampaging try scorer Ayori, and now they can clear to Wizard. The try-scoring Wizard, Injera! Incredible!
And they were very dedicated on what they want to achieve. So when Benja came in as a coach, the one thing that he encouraged us to do was just to stick to what we had learned and as players through the other technical benches. So it was a plus for us as players, a very core side that had the experienced players, Humphrey Kayange, the Oscar Umas, the William Bakas, the Collins Injeras. So that was a very balanced side. So for us to just win Singapore, it was not a surprise to us, because that season we had already gone to all the semi-finals, to the quarter-finals. We just needed to get ourselves to a final just to see how we could do in the finals. Lucky enough, it was Singapore that we got into a final.
Ever cup win on the circuit, going in and away. Here is OU. OU's got wheels. OU's got serious wheels. OU goes the length. OU will be a hero. There can only be one champion, and it is Kenya.
I think we are too excited to talk now. It was a hard battle. We knew it was going to be hard, working our way to the finals until we got to the finals and sniffed the win, and then we played just hard.
Some of the lows that I experienced, and I think it was a learning set for me, because when I was picked up for the national team, I struggled so much to make the first team. From 2006 to 2013. Those were my struggling season. I would say struggling because those were the times that I was learning. I was not a regular at the squad. I could be picked if somebody picked up an injury. I could go as an untraveling player, but I was not a regular, because I think some of the basics that I spoke about earlier about not being able, I was not that good at rugby at that time.
Handball is taking on Catholic University.
I had not learned a lot about the basics, the passing, the catching. So I was struggling with some of the things, the basic things that people who are in the national level are very good at.
This is too easy.
There was a time they went to Uganda. He had an injury. We met them in Kisumu. Then I said, what are you going to do about this? Because he was limping. Then Imba told me there are better facilities in Nairobi. They are going to take care of that.
The worst one, his hip, it gave us a shock. But then I told him, you have already got a mark for it. Just go and play. Now play. And in fact, he has been playing so well. Mpaka akakuwa what? Captain the rugby.
Me, I got scared. But you know, I think the injuries were, they came smaller, or bigger, biggest. The small ones were like, they call them grass burns. But to us, it is scary. If you find the whole of this place like having something like a burn, you wonder, what pain are you now feeling? And how are you going to deal with this? And how is it going to affect your game? But within no time, that thing would heal. You'll find them again in the spot. And then you might find again he's limping. Oh, what's about this? Then he would get well again. I think the medical team was good. But when he got serious injury, the one that scared us most was when he lost his part of his teeth. Something broken hand. The consolation was he's given good medical attention.
His injuries were scary. I mean, anyone you love, if they get hurt, you feel the pain with them. So we first used to take precautions. Anytime he was leaving for a game, I would ask him a few questions. Do you have your mouth guard? Do you have your arm guard? Of course, prayers. Before he leaves, we'd have prayers, or I'd ask him to just be careful in the field. His injuries, they would take a toll on him, but I knew I had to encourage him and also walk that journey with him.
Running, you used to get blisters. Basketball, there is sausage fingers. Hockey, you get like something in your knee there and slashes in your chin. So injuries were Andrew's way of growing up, and we did grow up as an outdoor family. So we were used to injuries, and they used to wake up. I think the major injury that he had is when he broke his femur from here. That one was the one that we will never forget, because if he used to travel, he used to put his foot outside the window of a car, and yeah, that one is the one that we got worried of, and when all his teeth got knocked out.
I broke my leg, I broke my arm, broke my jaw. Those are big setups in rugby that got me admitted at hospital, got my parents worried. You still going back to this sport, you're already picking too much injuries. So people got scared for me, but for the love of the game that had already got into my heart, I went through my recovery. That was the hardest time of life in a rugby player, getting back into rugby after injury. Because the mental part of it, you have to be strong mentally, because you know you've played an injury that was very painful, that kept you out, that got you admitted. So getting back into the field and getting to where you are, it takes time and it takes a lot of hard work. So those are sacrifices that a player must be able to understand that you will make when you are into sports. You have to work very hard, and you have to have a very strong mental to be able to succeed.
Always when he was going, I was telling him, when you go to play, play but be careful. Mind about yourself. Don't overplay and play well. And that is exactly what he did. And I also helped him to love it more. Because when he got those injuries, I would always ask him, now what next? Are you going to give up? He said, no. Then I told him, just go ahead and do it well. Be careful next time. Don't get hurt.
You don't give up just because you've got an injury. You'll get medical attention, you'll be all right. And then when the doctor says you are fit for the game, please do what they say. Okay? So I think in that way, he was able to, whenever he felt down, he would tell us, and we would encourage him. Success is never achieved by those who give up on the way. Go all the way, and then you'll get success at the end. You don't quit.
Don't quit before you finish.
The regret that we, personally, you know, when they see your son on TV and he plays in Europe, the perception outside here is he has a lot of money. He's like those European players. Yeah? Whenever you do anything, like I was cutting grass, when I work here, I do it myself. But they say, your son is a millionaire.
Why don't you put people in it?
Or you think when you hide that money, you'll eat it when you're in heaven. Okay? So that is the perception. That's what I regret.
Kuanzia tarehe 12 Disemba.
Nenda wapi? Leave me alone.
Recharge and get upgraded.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
This Christmas, gift yourself, friends and family with phones, more phones, and even more phones, and power banks, speakers, and even earpods, all at reduced prices with our Safaricom Christmas sale. Get up to 36% off on selected items. Offers are available at Safaricom shops, dealers and masoko.com.
Growing up in a big family, there weren't always enough seats at the table, so we started eating on the floor so that we could enjoy our food and cokes together. I kept that tradition in my own family to remind us that the most important part of any meal is being together.
What's cooking this crispy? Must be the softness of those mandazis. Must be the supple bite of those kaimatis. Every day is the day to enjoy amazing meals made with Ajab. Feel that crunch of that crispy samosa. Tease your fam and friends with the ease of kneading your special chapati. So, what are you cooking this Chrissy? Chrissy ni sikukuu na Ajab. Make the festive season amazing with top quality toxin safe Ajab flour.
Ajab, the flour that does more.
This is NTV.
Tonight, we would want to ensure that the integrity of these exams is not compromised.
The whole supply chain, we are trying to fill those gaps and ensure integrity of our professionals.
Draft agency raises concern over increasing cases of malpractice in the procurement departments, costing taxpayers billions of shillings. Also tonight, road crashes claim lives as police warn motorists to drive carefully.
You can imagine when we lose life of 6 people within a spell of some hours. I know you want to reach home and celebrate. So what's the need for you hurrying?
Plus,
opposition are supposed to be firm to correct governments of the day. And considering also that we are in a presidential system, it becomes so hard for them not to have a station office where they can be sitting and championing their rights.
The Ruto 100-day scorecard tonight focuses on his relationship with Parliament. And
I feel 3. I feel as if I'm in heaven. I wish I could touch the sky because I feel so high.
The tales of drug addiction at the coast and why a prescription drug is the latest high.
This Chrissy ni sikukuu na Ajab. Make the festive season amazing with top quality toxin safe Ajab flour.
Ajab, the flour that does more.
Kibera si mahali pa kulelea kijana. Ujui Kibera anavyoijua mimi.
Ni kama Ntona Big utachezaje bila Gwanda?
Bado suggest nikatasha Gwanda. Tuko na KD, tuna magwanda, tulikuwa naomba Joka unaweza tusponsor hivi vile tuko mtu 3.
Hii ni area yangu. Sasa na junior. Ni watoi bana.
These children are out of control.
Kishi na bunduki, unakufa na bunduki.
This holiday season, import your dream SUV with Murray Daddy Motors. Just pay a deposit of 1 million shillings and the balance when your vehicle arrives. Place your order by the 31st of January 2023 and get the fast free service and a fuel card worth 50,000 shillings.
There's so many things I like about him. First is his discipline again. It's what I hate and what I like. It's the way he loves. He loves sincerely. The way he takes care of us as a family, the way he communicates. It's just when I'm out there that I realize I'm married to Amonde. But when I'm at home, he's just babe.
Andrew is a spectacular player. I believe when he's called out to play, he always raises his hand up to ensure that he's part of the team. And really proud of him, making sure that every opportunity that he asks for, we give granted to him.
KCB as a family developed logistic. If you don't have a thick skin to take the banter in the bus, you are finished. People also should learn and understand that there is that part of Andrew that is there. In the rugby, he's a totally different person. But outside the pitch, he's the gentle giant who can easily be hurt or offended by those heavy words that come from, or hard words that may come from his friends or people within his inner circle. I've seen Andrew cry. I've seen him cry, not because of losing a match, but because I know he's a gentle giant at some point, and that really helped him develop his character. You develop a thick skin when fellow rugby players can make fun of you until your tears come out in the cheek. Is this Andrew 6'3", 6'4", who's crying in the ball? Unasema no, it can't be.
There is so much I learned from Andrew's family. Andrew is a family man. He's actually, the other day I had my introduction and sort of a traditional wedding, and to me, Andrew, we discuss so much about life, family, business, and we just hang out and have a drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, Making of Amonde is receiving this award for the service to the national team and his performance at club level for KCB. This one, ladies and gentlemen, is a massive honor from Kenya Rugby Union to our long-serving captain. Ladies and gentlemen.
When he announced his retirement, no one believed him, because generally, if the setup is not professional, it's very hard to retire. Yeah, so for the national team, yes, but we're also trying to convince him to come do it for the last time. Of course, he has retired completely from the 7th, but the 15th is not so demanding. We actually want him to come and play. For me, I didn't take it as very serious because I knew he would come back and play. Yeah, but the other people were like, he's been so instrumental to the KCB team that him retiring will mean we have to get someone to replace him, which is not very easy.
We do wish you all the best in your retirement life, and of course with your service at KCB.
During this short time, he has built a lot of friends, good relationship with others. But it is good. Time to go must be there. You have to go. It can't stay in playing, except I wished he could not go into coaching. What I told him is, you are now retiring as a player, but the Kenyans may need you as a coach. You also pass your talent to the young, so that your talent do not just go. I told him about Kipchoge. You know, athletics is that high because Akina Kipchoge took a lot of time to pass the talent to the younger generation.
Andrew's career, I haven't really supported him as much as possible as I would have wanted to. As a small brother, the best I could do was become a fan, somebody to keep him in morals, because I used to stay with him, tell him the best that he can do. I think I was the first person to tell him, you know what, you should be a coach by now. I think your resume, you can actually they can really work for it.
I encourage young boys. Rugby is a brilliant sport, but it's a sport that needs a lot of sacrifices from your side. It will need your time, it will need your dedication, it will need your discipline. The only way you are going to succeed in rugby, when you come into rugby, you must have an open mind, be ready to learn, be ready to do your own research, be ready to put on the extra work when you come in to be able to get better. Because whenever you come here, remember you will not be here alone. You will be here with people who are competing with you to be in the same position.
Fidel, Baboon. Oh. Before joining rugby, I used to go and watch him play. I could travel to Nairobi or when they came to Dallas Sevens, and people encouraged me, just come and train. You know, I was not privileged to go to school where they taught us to play rugby. I just learned after Form 4. Yes, and I got into Kisumu rugby. His former players like Dick Orongo, his friend, encouraged me and he taught me, and I started playing.
Imagine knowing somebody that you see in the newspaper and you call him Izom boy, and then you're like, okay, Andrew Befika hapo siku hizi. It's quite inspiring because it does show you that you can actually reach the best of your potential, given from the humble backgrounds we came from, and everything it is possible. So I take him like a motivation, somebody that made me rise to the challenge, and somebody that told us, within us, we just have to believe in ourselves to get perfection.
We had to be disciplined, but being also sportish. You know, sports and discipline is just one. So I think from his childhood, being involved with so many sports, football, handball, basketball, now rugby, discipline had to be part of him. So I think with the sports and being nurtured with the parents, that's what made him disciplined.
There are certain values that you instill on the child as he grows with you. And there are others that he picks as he mixes with his peers. And even when he now goes out of your hands, I think what the values that you give him can now guide him on how to behave with the other people. But I think it was give him a true Christian value.
He was learning in a good school where discipline was very high. So the teachers also did their part on him, and he has come up a very strong guy.
To me, one thing that stood out for me was the heart, one. Two, the other thing maybe was the physical presence. This is a physical specimen. He came big. You can't train size. He was big from the moment he came into KCB. And when you have size and you also have a big heart, you can't substitute for anything for that. So many players out there have big size, but don't have the big heart to take the big tackles, put your body on the line. At that time when he came, Andrew was not a flanker. I was the winger and he was the center. And he has just joined the club. So at times he used to take those big tackles for me. And you see, with the time you develop that chemistry when you are playing with him in the 7th circuit, in the 15th, and you learn just to coexist with him. And to me, he's like family.
The biggest lesson for me was just to be humble, work very hard. Sports takes time for somebody to pick up because there's no late time for you to get into a sport. I got into rugby very late. Through dedication and hard work that I put in, I was able to succeed as a rugby player. This is something that I've encouraged myself with, and I'm trying to encourage young boys who have an opportunity to start these sports very early. It is important to get your basics at an early age because it's a second nature to you when you're playing. For many years, people have never known. Without KCB, there would not be this Andrew Amonde, because from when I came in here, the support that the bank has given this team, it's massive. From the years that I've played for Kenya for the last 15 years. And I've played rugby for the last 25 years. So it's been a long time observing rugby at the international level. So I felt it was time just to give a chance to the young guys who are coming through the system. Also to have a feel, because the more you stay there, the more nobody will come up to just pick up the role of to lead the team somewhere else. Because I'd done my part in giving a chance to somebody else to come in to do something better than what you've done. Because we've got young players who started rugby at a very young age. So this is an opportunity for them also to come in and take the mantle as Kenya Sevens and raise it to another level, because we took it to a different level when we were left in Kenya Sevens. So the young ones who are coming after us, the expectation that we have in them, they're able to pick the team and also raise the standard to another level. So that is a plus for our country. Through the mentorship we're able to give them, I'm sure we'll be able to raise our standard in rugby. As a country, we haven't done much as to help our women rugby, because the biggest potential that we've been sleeping on is our women rugby. From what we've seen lately and how they have been playing on their local circuit and the international level, they are a side that has not been supported for a very long time, and they are a side that holds the biggest potential, more than even the men's side, because from what I saw them play at the World Cup qualifiers, they felt very short of going to a World Cup. I think that we've struggled with for different generations just to get the men's team into a World Cup. So I think more investment, if could be done, and more development into rugby women, I think Kenya would be very successful in rugby in women's side than what we've done as men.
Rugby in Kenya, I think it's not been paying as much as or in athletics. Those who do athletics and go abroad, they have good earnings than these guys.
They're working so hard, and the people who are enjoying their money is not the players. I just have a feeling that the money is there, but there are some people, maybe that is part of the corruption. There are some people who are actually eating from them, the people who have not even worked for that money. But the players themselves are not enjoying. That is another regret I have for them. That one time the government will find out and will brush them aside. And the people who are actually playing will get what they ought to get.
I'm proud of his achievements. As it is now, most people would refer him to as the retired rugby captain. But within him, there's still that fire, that spark, that impact that he still needs to give back. There's still more that he can give and share. There's still more knowledge that he has. And he's a legend, he's an icon. Seeing him being in this field for those number of years, from 2004 till 2020, those are so many years of knowledge, discipline. Apart from being a talented player, he's put in so much to be wherever he was. So I wouldn't like to see all that go down the drain. The future holds so much for him. He's what? Angoa babe. I would like to see him still giving back to guys who would like to learn from him. I see a lot of young guys approach him, and I'm sure everyone who has ever tried to approach him can say that Andrew doesn't just brush you off. He's active on his social medias, so if there's anything anyone would like to learn from him, he is very generous with knowledge on what he knows. So in future, babe, you're still a star, you're still an icon, you're still a legend. We still celebrate your achievements, and there's more to come.
I think the biggest thing for me now is just to focus on my coaching career. I've achieved a lot as a player. I think the biggest thing I can do to rugby and to see other people come through and to be able to try and even do better than what we did is to give a proper mentorship to the young people who are coming through the system. And I think that is a platform that I'm working at now with KCB, with Rugby DBA.
Time to get your Kenyan on, folks. Enjoy. History has been made here in Singapore. Kenya. There can only be one champion, and it is Kenya.
This Christmas, enjoy thrilling new drama series.
You've never been good.
The Long Ballad, Love and Pride, An Identical Twins, and Q.
Alisha alikuwa mke mzuri na mwenye furaha, lakini rafiki yake wa karibu aliporudi kutoka ng'ambo, hapo ndipo kila kitu kilibadilika.
Ashajua ukweli. Njoo mwambie roho yako imepata makao mapya.
Tazama Q kwenye Rembo TV kuanzia tarehe 12 Disemba.
Unaenda wapi? Leave me alone. Recharge and get upgraded.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
This Christmas, gift yourself, friends and family with phones, more phones, and even more phones, and power banks, speakers, and even earpods, all at reduced prices with our Safaricom Christmas sale. Get up to 36% off on selected items. Offers are available at Safaricom shops, dealers, and masoko.com.
Your mental health is important to me. Your mental health is important to us. And your mental health is very important to yourself. On behalf of the Amonde Counseling Center and Training Institute, Board of Directors and our staff, I want to wish you a very blessed Christmas season and a happy, very, very happy year 2023.
On my dark marks, I've tried everything from A to Z, even vitamin C, but hardly any results. Nivea Lumina 630 works from day one, with visible results in just 2 weeks and 71% dark marks reduction in 12. Join the 1 million women already using the #1 Lumina 630 from Nivea.
NTV, turning on your world.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. It just so happens